Hey guys, what is up? It is No Help and welcome back to another video today. Today Jagex has made some changes to Yama once again and some other miscellaneous changes. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. Okay, so right now we are aware of a bug where the crafting side panel is currently displaying thieving options instead of the correct crafting interface, and that's to be cold fixed. Okay, let's see this. If we go to crafting here, thieving, pickpocketing, it's not even, it's showing like the right things, but it just says thieving, pocketing, stalls. That's pretty funny. Okay, so this is the actual Yama tweaks now. So we've made a few little adjustments to Yama this week. So first of all, group Ironman and pet. So first up, great news for our group Ironman players. The boosted pet drop rate for Yama now applies to both players if you're in the same group. So keep that in mind, the same group. No more watching your teammate get all the perks while you get moral support and a few bones. Group content is meant to be tackled as a group after all. Okay, so cheesy Emberlight. So some of you clever clogs discovered that Emberlight's special attack could be used to repeatedly drain Yama's offensive stats, basically turning him into a mildly annoyed training dummy. While we admire the creativity, that strategy pretty much deleted the intended challenge, so we had to fix it. It's kind of crazy that something like that did exist for a certain amount of time. Yeah, that's kind of funny. Emberlight special will no longer reduce Yama's offensive stats, so meaning you'll have to actually engage with the fight instead of putting the boss in a timeout. We know this is a pretty firm change, but we wanted to get a robust fix out first. We're open to exploring slightly less harsh alternatives in the future if it makes sense to do so. So let us know what you think. Yeah, this is the one I think people are going to be pretty upset about, of course. Yeah, I didn't even really know about this until the other day. So up next here we have the Bolt ban. So finally, a quick note for those working on the Glyphnic attenuation contract. It's supposed to be a melee only challenge, a test of your ability to get up close and personal. However, special effects from Ruby and Diamond enchanted bolts were giving players basically an advantage, obviously, right? We've now disabled those effects during this contract. So we know this one might sting for anyone who's been leaning on that strategy to get through. If you've already completed it that way, fair play. You've got it before the fix. Wow, okay, that's good to know for some people. However, going forward, it's all about melee. So they definitely have made Yama quite a bit harder with some of these changes. Okay, so we've got player support and anti-cheating stats. These are always fun to look at. So welcome back to our monthly snapshot of player support and anti-cheating activity. Your behind-the-scenes look at all the hard work going into keeping Gielinor fair and fun for everyone. So each month we share key stats from our player support and anti-cheating teams so you can see exactly what's been happening behind the curtain, from how quickly we're responding to your queries to number of bots and rule breakers taken down. Here's the latest data for May 2025. So the average response time was 63.9 hours. I believe they said it was 72 or maybe it was 48, something like that. So kind of a high response time there. Ticket satisfaction score 71%. Well, take a look at some of these big numbers here. So the macro bans in just May was 405,000. That is crazy. And that puts it up to 1.4 million for the year. And the GP removed was 1.6 trillion in May, and that's 11, almost 12 trillion for the year as well. And then there's also some real-world trading bans, 12,000 in May as well, kind of crazy. And also the chat spam, 4,000 mutes, 20,000 to the year. Very interesting to look at some of these stats. Imagine if like this didn't happen or whatever, there'd be an extra 12 trillion GP just circulating around the game and just from this year. Okay, so up next, they've got community and mobile. So from skilling on the side to taking on quests and combat challenges, you mobile lot are seriously dedicated. It actually surprised me. I made a video like I'd say about a year ago now talking about mobile, and so many people commented that they only play on mobile, which I thought was kind of crazy, but it's one of those things where if that's the only option you have and you're really dedicated, it's such a good thing that you can actually play old school RuneScape on mobile, and it's brought so many players into the game. When it first came out, I thought, oh, this would have been great in high school, right? Something that I can kind of play on the side or play during class or whatever. But people actually fully play the game on mobile. They do bossing, they do everything. So it's kind of interesting to see. We wanted to take a moment to highlight some of the folks with the true no XP waste energy. So this is the best mobile methods from, is that Theoatrix? Yes, Theoatrix. Very good content creator there, and they're highlighting this video. Okay, so now on to some screenshots. So Griffiths got the first Inferno KC on mobile at the end of April. That is insane. So Inferno is like obviously one of the hardest challenges, maybe the hardest challenge in all of old school RuneScape, and now somebody did it on a phone. So I guess there's really no excuses anymore. People have been asking me to try and do the Inferno for years, and I don't know, maybe we'll do it in the next little while, but somebody did it on a phone, man. Like, that's crazy, and that is the first KC on mobile. So wow, very interesting. And they have 145 mil XP, so they're not like an account, like a huge account or anything like that. They're probably maybe max combat or something, but still, that's insane. So up next here, we've got this guy who shared a whole slew of drops and completed combat challenges, all done on mobile. So it looks like this guy got himself a scythe on mobile, so that means they've completed the Theater of Blood and somehow got a 1.6 billion GP drop doing so. It'd be crazy to see if this person like mainly plays on mobile, but yeah, that is so cool. Cool to see, man. It's interesting that, like I said, like people actually genuinely play the game like this. I only really have ever used mobile myself to like AFK some stuff or to play leagues really, but yeah. And then we've got this guy right here, wowed us with an 18-minute mobile Coliseum. How? Like, that's actually like super impressive that somebody was able to do this on mobile. They're obviously probably pretty experienced, but at the end of the day, that's a huge accomplishment. Next, we got a player who maxed on mobile. So GZ to Indy on 2277, and good luck on your ongoing pet hunt. Look at this, they also got 99 cooking last, which is another kind of a weird thing. Most people get that like first, or it's one of their first anyways, but congratulations, that's huge. Up next, we have a player named Skyrim, came out in 2011. That's interesting. Thanks for making us feel old, by the way. Let me know down in the comments if you guys played Skyrim. I loved that game back in the day. I never like hardcore played it or anything, but whenever I'd go to my dad's for the weekend when I was a kid, I would just be playing Skyrim. Like, I loved that game so much. I think it was on the Xbox 360, maybe. I don't even remember, but I loved that game so much. And they completed Dragon Slayer 2 on mobile. Very difficult quest. You have to kill Vorkath, you have to kill that other dragon. And doing this on mobile is definitely not an easy task. So shout out to Skyrim, came out in 2011. This is another level of talent, getting 100 BH kills on mobile. Their 100th mobile only kill. Like, PKing itself is extremely hard, and there's like a big learning gap to it. And the fact that this guy's just annihilating people on mobile is pretty insane, man. And we've got the other changes part of the blog. So Abyssal Scions now max hit for 10 with melee down from 15. Noted crushed bird's nest will no longer be deleted when destroying a looting bag in the wilderness. Using the Quetzal whistle to teleport no longer causes delayed damage after arrival, preventing deaths from damage queued during the teleport animation. That'd be crazy if you like lost a hardcore this way. Player regeneration potions now resets in the same way that divine potions and the saturated heart do. When a player dies or visits minigames, that resets their stats. Thralls will no longer deal damage to Karasks or Turoths. The collection log overview can now be opened at the same time as the combat achievement interface. That's actually pretty cool. Okay, I want to try this. So collection log, we got that up, and then the combat tasks as well. And you can actually just like move that over so you can have them both up at the same time. That's actually really cool. Okay, so the collapsed version of the Chambers of Xeric helper panel no longer overlaps with the points menu. That's nice. You can no longer lose Tithe Farm points by reactivating the auto weed, having just purchased it. Refilling the can through the Tithe Farm shop is now free. That's cool. The elemental wizards south of Falador now correctly take damage from all elemental spells except their own, which heal them instead. Items dropped on the stairs in the Pothole dungeon now can be picked up without problems. Fixed an issue where the Shaman's Tomb could not be obtained during the Legends quest. Brudu shields now correctly have a 1 in 10 chance to drain attackers' stats while taking damage from monsters, consuming a charge and triggering their unique effect. So the whatever that Ekfridi's aid now consumes only 1 charge rather than 2 when buffing a single attack. Efforties fixed an issue where repeatedly clicking apply at your shoe store could stack multiple dialogues. That's like the animation stalling or whatever, right? The animation for adding logs to a bonfire can now be ended more reliably when switching to other skilling activities. Updated the tribal totem quest log to refer to GPDT employees instead of RPDT men. Okay. Tinsei is now correctly credited with teaching players how to cook Karambwan in the Tiaiwanai Trio quest dialogue. The entrance door of the Lumbridge pub now opens to the left instead of the right. Lumbridge pub, okay. And the runecrafting skill guide now lists what elemental combination runes will provide you with. Ooh, that's actually interesting. Let's take a look at that. So rune crafting right here. I guess it would be in infusing. Nope, it would be runes probably. Okay, yeah, right here. So lava runes. It'll say earth and fire. That's actually kind of cool because, you know, some people don't use the wiki or whatever. And they may want to know how to do that. Well, definitely some interesting updates this week. Probably not really good if you were doing a lot of Yama. Unfortunately, they've kind of made Yama a lot more difficult this week. Or I guess I shouldn't even say that. They made it how they intended the fights to actually be. People are just kind of like figuring their own ways to make it easier or whatever. So I guess at the end of the day, it's good that they did fix this, but I'm assuming a lot of people will not be too happy, especially if you were using some of those methods to get your kills. Other than that, you know, not really too much has changed this week. I guess they're, you know, working on bigger updates, maybe sailing, other stuff like that. And also the Dead Man kind of just ended as well. So they've had a lot on their plate. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of these updates updates down in the comments below. And if you watch the whole video, comment Karambwan. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you in the next video. See ya later.